Hi guys, this is my persuasive speech about why I think animal testing should be banned. On average, 83% of the top large beauty brands use animal testing. My name is Elena Mito, and I've always had a love for animals, as most people would, and I also understand that animal testing needs to be put to a stop to help protect these animals. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to talk about how animal testing is inhumane, inefficient, and about how there are many alternatives to animal testing. And fair warning, there are some graphic images of real tests that are used during animal testing in this slide. First, I am going to talk about how animal testing is inhumane. First of all, animals have to go through many painful procedures while and during animal testing. This could include injections of toxic substances, surgical procedures without often anesthesia, intentional infliction of burns and wounds, and chemical applications that are applied to sensitive areas like the eyes and skin. Also, during animal testing, animals are likely to self mutilate, meaning that they use obsessive compulsive behaviors like tearing out their own fur or biting themselves, pacing or rolling back and forth, wire gnawing, circling, jumping, and mainly aggression. These animals are most likely put in cages that are way too small with multiple other animals, which is not good for their well being. After these animals are placed in these cages together, they will become aggressive. Oftentimes, this can be seen in other animals in the cage by bite wounds on the tail, rump, ears, and shoulders, like you can kind of see in the picture with the mice that was probably put with a bunch of other mice. More about some inhumane issues that lead to animal testing is the lack of pain relief given to these animals. Painkillers are often not required by law, meaning that the animals will suffer during these procedures, and oftentimes painkillers are withheld because it would interfere with the test results. Next, the animals are put in confinement in small cages without environmental enrichment, which leads to chronic stress, anxiety, and loneliness. And lastly, these injections are used, our animals are very toxic to their bodies. And most of the time during animal testing, animals are given doses of substances until 50% of them die. During this, the animals experience unavoidable convulsions, internal bleeding, paralysis, vomiting, and diarrhea, which is very inhumane. For my next point, I'm going to talk about how inefficient animal testing is. First of all, it is known that animal testing is inefficient because of the very low success rate that these products have. In fact, the majority of the products in clinical trials fail through the process, leaving only 4% that are actually approved. Also, animal testing is biologically inefficient, and testing are for human products, which there is a difference in humans and animals' physiology, genetics, and disease models. So it's entirely different, leading to a low success rate. In an article written by Cruelty Free Internationally, their team says that our research has shown that using dogs, rats, mice, and rabbits to test whether or not a drug will be safe for humans provides statistically little useful insight. Our study also revealed that the drug tests on monkeys are just as poor as those using any other species in predicting effects on humans. This quote proves that even when our closest relatives and monkeys are tested, even then the success rates are significantly low. Secondly, animal testing is inefficient because of how extensive and costly it is. Each product can cost millions of dollars to test, which takes extensive research, and it takes a long amount of time to ensure that the product is tested correctly. Overall, it is impossible to test all of the chemicals going into a product because of the vast number of chemicals that it takes, how much it costs to test them, and because of how long it takes to test these products. Now, for my last point, I'm going to talk about some of the alternatives to animal testing and why they could be more beneficial rather than using animals. Our first alternative to animal testing is organoids / 3D tissue models. But what are these? They are lab-grown miniature versions of human tissues and organs, kind of like what is pictured, but divert from stem cells that replicate complex biology and function more accurately than traditional flat cell cultures. The article Advanced Animal Replacement Testing Strategies Using Stem Cell Organoids, published the International Journal of Stem Cells, says that these models provide more human relevant data, allowing for improved prediction of human biological responses compared to the traditional animal tests. These models are used to simulate human tissues in preclinical trials, enhancing the accuracy of safety assessments. The adoption of such models marks a significant step towards reducing animal testing while maintaining or even improving regulatory standards for product safety and effectiveness. Our next alternative is computer-based models. These computer models simulate human biology and give more accurate reactions rather than actual animal models. These models can accurately project drug responses and are faster and less expensive than animal tests. And for our last alternative to animal testing, we have bioinformatics and data mining. Bioinformatics is an interdisciplinary field that uses computer science and mathematics to analyze biological data and DNA. And data mining is very similar, which is the process of discovering useful patterns, anomalies, and correlations in large data sets. This learns the algorithms and finds patterns to make predictions about reactions without using animals, leading to a more accurate response in testing trials. So, after being aware of the inhumane issues, inefficiency, and the alternatives to animal testing, you should form your own thoughts if animal testing should be banned. If you agree with me that it does, please refrain from using those brands that cohere with animal testing to stop the decrease of average 83% of top beauty brands that test it. And remember to use brands with only the cruelty-free logo. Thank you guys, that is the end of my speech, and these are my references. Okay, that is all. Thank you guys for listening.